Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with a new fresh thought. And yeah, instead of a video, I mean video and thought included, right? Freshness all around. But I wanted to basically come to you guys I just had a life experience where I was like, "Oh, this is so interesting and I never realized this before." But you know how the saying, don't mistake kindness for weakness. Well, it's very funny because I'm both kind and happy, right? And so I've noticed that it's not my kindness being taken advantage of, it's my happiness that's being taken advantage of, right? So, and that's like such a revelation for me today, because I knew that was the case with my family, for instance, but I didn't think that, that strangers would know me enough to do that, or, and it's not even about knowing you enough, it's feeling you enough, right? To do that. So the whole thing is, it's very interesting. I just had an Airbnb experience where my gut was telling me to lock my door, and literally I would have never locked my door because it's going from one room to another, right? So like I usually don't lock my doors just because it's like whatever. But something was telling me to lock my door, and so I did, and I took the keys with me, but I don't think that the people that were the people that I was staying with, they were home, and I don't think that they realized that I did that. And it's very interesting because I also learned a lot about impatience, right? So they had asked me this morning, what time am I leaving? I had until 12 o'clock to leave, and I told them that I'd be out probably around 11ish, but then it ended up being where I was like, oh, I need more time, probably 11:30, right? They were all fine with that, but it was funny because when I walked into the bathroom to get myself together, right, in the morning and do my, daily routine or whatnot, daily hygiene routine, I literally, I walked in there, and the walls are fairly thin, so I kind of, and like they have really large ceilings, so everything kind of echoes, right? So I had a feeling, even though I had my music on, like lightly going in the bathroom with me, I had a feeling, I was like, oh, somebody's like checking out the room. And it's funny because I also could be very wrong about this situation, by the way. Like because I was trying to like recap like what exactly happened, because I had literally like closed the door behind me, locked it, and I'm very, when I'm living my life, I'm very much so in the flow of my life where I am aware and I am there, so it's very interesting because I rarely lose my fucking train of thought, or what, not lose my train of thought. I have lost my train of thought. But it's more so when I'm there in a situation, I'm purely present, put it that way. And so it was just interesting because I had, from the door, I know I had locked it before I left, and I definitely took my keys, but I don't know if in the interim, I had possibly, what was I going to say? I had possibly, taken, what's it called? I had possibly taken because in the interim between me leaving the door and locking it and closing it behind me, I had spotted them, and I believe that I closed it, but oh my gosh, I saw the same person that I saw yesterday with the same, that's awesome. Oh my God, so cool. Same person with the same license plate I just saw pass me in a totally different location and of the area, and it's just really fucking hilarious. That's just happening right now. So, and it's the license, well, should I say it's, FL 5-star, that was the license plate, and I'm just like really grateful because like that goes to show you that, everything's on the up and up, and I'm in the right place, in the right and in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And so, long story short, I pretty much, like, I was checking in with my A-team, and I'm like, did I close the door behind me? Because, I believe that I did. But, I also could be wrong because humans do make mistakes. Now, it's really funny because the truth always comes out. So it's like, if you don't side with the truth at one point in your life, that's your choice, buddy. But at the same time, you're going to look real stupid later down the line because you don't realize what people see, And And it's ridiculous to do that because of the fact that it's very much so people should want to trust you, right? That is something that you really should want to cultivate in your life so that people do, you uphold to that reputation, because if you don't, you're fucking shit in this life. Like you will be shitted all over the place, and you're gonna be like, why me, and totally become a victim because you're an asshole and you can't cultivate your own trust and other people's trust in your own life. So then you lose people, and then you lose love. You don't have enough love and all this stuff. And because sometimes impatience and ego takes the best of us, but at the same time, fight that shit. You know what's right. You know what's good in your heart. And when you know that you're going to be left feeling like you got away with something, that's not a good feeling. That's like a temporary, maybe a quote unquote like faux happy high, but it's not, you're not going to be long-term happy. I'm actually the long-term happy because I just saw the truth of all that just fucking happened. So long story short, it's funny because I told them that I was going to be leaving, but I felt that they were a little impatient. So I said, okay, I'm going to get out of here, I'm going to help a human out, right? I'm going to get out of here as fast as possible because I too want to be out of a room, right? Like I don't want to be inside all day. So long story short, I come out of the bathroom after doing my stuff, and I see that the door was slightly left open, cracked open. And it was locked. The knob was locked. So I'm like, that's really interesting. It's kind of like somebody left themselves in, but then didn't realize the door was locked, And again, it's Mercury retrograde, so I'm not gonna, make it seem like anything. I was like trying to think. I was like, should I check in with this guy to see if they did open the door? But then what do I get from it? It's not what do I get from it. It's more so like what ends up happening. Like I don't know. I might check in later, and just kind of give him like a constructive criticism, right? Like that kind of thing. Because also he needs to know that's not right, and especially with a woman being in a home where she doesn't know her surroundings, safety is huge. So Airbnbers, make sure safety is a fucking thing on your list, but also not just safety in terms of locking, but safety in terms of let a person be while they're in your home. You know what I'm saying? Like let them be themselves, because if they feel unsafe with you, in terms of your energy, you're fucked, because you're going to get a bad review, and bad reviews cultivate bad, not so much business. So it's do yourself a favor and just fucking chill out and I know it's your, we're also very egotistical, oh, it's my place, and God forbid they do something so wrong and this and that. But it's how about you just deal with that after the fact, to really deal with the honest facts. If you find something, missing in your space or whatever, or something was left unjust to you, then it's deal with it after the fact. Don't think that somebody's going to do it. Don't project that shit out there, because you actually don't know the human being that you're allowing into your home, And the funny thing is, it's I was thinking about myself, and I actually really want to do Airbnb in my life. When I attain a piece of real estate property that I'll be living in, I absolutely want to do it. And because I know who I'll be attracting, and I know how I'm going to lay the rules and laws down. And I know that it's going to be so much fun. The only thing is, and this is what's funny, because I came from a household that, you would you would ultimately just act normal, lock your doors, act smart, be smart, and just be preventative in terms of, what could happen. But at the same time, I just realized that I said, regardless of me locking the door or not, right? The dude, he had his wife there too. So the dude or the wife, basically, or whoever, because there was more people than just one in the household, they literally fucking barged in anyway, right? So it makes no difference whether you lock a door or you don't. Somebody's going to kind of do what they want with your things. with your aspect, with your stuff, and it's just like, and it's not right. And it's also not right because I had all of my stuff out in the open, which is like, you can just pluck anything that you want, but it's just like, that also wouldn't be right. I mean, whatever. Like, my whole thing is like, I'm totally detached from my things, but I'm very so prone to fuck what the things are. It's about the principle. It's about the justice that needs to be had, That's why I'm thinking, like, in this sense, it's kind of a gray area, and gray areas usually always make me kind of take action, because I want to clarify. I want to clarify what happened, not just for myself, but also to let the person know that you didn't get away with this. Like, you might have. And so this is the whole thing. This is how I know that I'm partially in the right, because I checked in with my A team and they told me a yes. But also when I was leaving, I turned around and I saw, I turned around, and before closing the entrance to the doorway, the owner was already up and heading to my door to see, like, if everything was left okay, which also is a sign of impatience because, it's okay. Yes, you're in your own home. You can check whatever it is you want, but let a bitch fucking leave the fucking property. Like, don't, just don't go in there. Like, he could have done it for, like, good purposes, or like just to make sure that I didn't, leave anything. That happens, but he wasn't giving me those vibes that he was totally in care of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just giving me those vibes like, okay, you're here, cool, awesome, and, leave when you want to, and we need you out by a certain time, without saying it, and I can read between the lines very easily. So my whole thing is, oh my gosh, my ear. My whole thing is, I just, it's just not, it's not a good feeling, right? And the whole thing is, it's like, I like use the bare minimum of their facilities. Like, I really didn't use that much. Like, I kept it very simple just because I'm on a retreat for myself also, just to kind of get away. But at the same time, that entire thing made me realize, I said, oh, so it's my happiness that's being taken advantage of when people see that you're playing music and that you're really happy. And so they can go either way. They can go either in, and obviously every scenario is different, but in this scenario, so happiness can be taken, can be taken advantage of, in a sense of, well, if you're happy, I'm going to feed off of your energy. Or if you're happy, she won't mind if I go in and, go like, not rummage around, but basically go peek in on her, environment and this and that. And you know what? That is so fucking wrong, because people don't realize that with me, I'm so happy because I have boundaries. And that's the other reason why I would want to kind of interact with him, is because, I want him to know that happy people do have boundaries, and you can't be doing this all the time, And the whole thing is, it's like, and it's very interesting because, he also doesn't know a lot about me. So, I'm a feng shui consultant. I feel, I'm very intuitive. I'm very aware of my surroundings. I'm very much so all of that, in a spiritual sense. And it's like, you're fucking with the wrong person in terms of, spiritual sense, and in terms of a happy girl. And I'm still happy. This is the whole thing. It's like, so many people, this is me complaining, honestly, because the whole thing is, it's like, I don't mind how life goes for me. I know it's going to be the highest best because that's what I give it, and I don't sway from that. Now, some people would argue and say, oh, but that wasn't highest and best, but life also isn't perfect. So, and it was very perfect, because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have a video out of it, and I wouldn't be sharing with the world what my high standards are of other human beings, and how I think, and sharing with you how I think and how I believe that people should be treated, is just that they should be trusted. And another thing that, I don't know if I just shared this, but I was like, when I do my Airbnb, I realized, I said, wow, well, so if I just say lock your doors, that's fine. But also, another person can come in and not trust me. However, in my life, I will cultivate trust because I'm a trustworthy person. So I decided that when I do Airbnb, I'm only going to have people who are okay, and I will put it I'll basically put it in the specifications, like, or in the rule book or whatever, like in the manual of the house, like, you need to leave your doors unlocked, and you need to be okay with that in the first place if you're coming to my house, because we're all about trust here. We're not about, oh, lock your doors and, like, in fear that somebody might take something. No, because that doesn't fucking happen in my household. It doesn't happen in my mind. It's not going to happen in my household. So the whole thing is, and if it were to happen, I would bluntly express it that if it were to happen, we will treat the situation as such. Like, we will fucking do something about it, because that's not to be tolerated. Do you know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, it's like, an Airbnb is really a business that is based off of the goodness of other people. So if you think that you're really going to be, taken advantage of or stolen from, then that's not a business that you should be, partaking in, even if it's cheap, and even if it, gives you a different experience and meeting new people. Like, if you don't trust yourself, you cannot trust others. So what the fuck are you mingling with others for? That's the whole thing, So again, inner work has a lot to do with you working. It's starting from you. Everything starts from you. Also, I've realized this morning, I woke up with this thought, is inner work has a lot to do with your quietness. People don't realize it, like, like, I think people, when they're like, oh, you need to work on you, I always question, like, what is that? What am I actually doing when I know I'm working on myself, but what is it that I'm doing that's actually making me work on myself? And the thing is, what I'm doing is I'm being very quiet with myself, and I'm also being very open and honest with myself, and also being very trustworthy of my intuitive thoughts of what I need to do. So, like, whether it be creativity or whatever that I need to do for myself, I do it. I'm very proactive in my life. Like, so, and if I don't do it, like, today, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it, like, I won't forget about it. I'll write it down, and I'll just be like, okay, this is something I need to do for myself. But it's not only for myself. I understand that there's myself as a small picture and as a big picture, but also as a small picture in terms of the entire world. I'm doing, like, one small good thing for myself to do one small good thing for the world. And so by working on yourself and mastering myself and my harmony within myself, I know I create this inner peace, right? And so when just mentioned, like, you're having quiet time for yourself is balancing you out, is recentering you back, is putting you back into center with yourself. Also, it's patience, which I didn't realize that it was, but patience is a huge determining factor on whether or not you're working on yourself, because the more you cultivate patience with yourself, the more you know that you've gotten past something. And the more that and before even getting past something, it's more so about you willing to look at something and take the time to, and accept the time for it to work its way through your life for it to get better, right? Like, so that's the whole thing. I always, like, when I see something, I'm like, damn, I don't like that about myself, or, it's not something that I appreciate about myself, and it could, and I don't know, like, what it is, it, like, sometimes, and it's not that something that sparks disappreciation. It's more so me not, I'm angry at it, right? It's more so than just not appreciative of it. It's there's an anger there behind it. Like, why am I that way? What is the purpose of that? And it's not even changing myself. It's more so because sometimes inner work is changing yourself, but sometimes inner work is accepting yourself for who the fuck it is you actually are. So some people may in a negative light, but then it's you, the inner work is you taking a look at it and being like, well, what do I think about this? And are they really right? And what are the pros and cons of seeing it their way versus my way, and then kind of coming to a happy medium, and accepting it for myself, like, and laughing at it. Sometimes I even fucking laugh at the shit that, like, people tell me, and I'm like, and it's so funny because I've come to this such self-mastery aspect in my life where it's like people tell me something that's like dissing me or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I do that. Like, It's not like I knew that before you did. So you're like, that's great that you just saw that, but you ain't dissing me when I know that about myself, you know? And so it's like, even if you try, it's like, it's actually hilarious to me that, like, you know, a person would, you know, express it to me, you know, in terms of thinking that I'm going to react to it in a bad way. And I just cultivate fucking happiness out of it. I'm like, thanks. That's actually really funny. But also I knew that, so it's even more funnier, you know? As I'm saying, like, so when I talk to you guys, it's so, like, well, you'll see, like, I'm more so, like, I go in and out, like, I get serious, but then I get very happy. And yesterday I went to, you know, Disney Hollywood Studios, if that makes sense, in Florida, and in Celebration. I think that's the I mean, it's Orlando, but it's where I'm staying is called Celebration. Not so much, or I was passing through Celebration, and I'm staying, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. So, anyhow, long story short, my whole thing is, you know, there's ebbs and flows. Oh, this is my whole point of bringing up the why, like, so, Walt Disney had taught me that life is really all about, like Mickey Mouse was all about a character that his sole purpose, which is one purpose, but also soul, right? If you're gonna go with a play on words, which is always me, it's literally, it's funny because I think about how, I'm so sorry, I just got distracted because I saw a symbol with my eyes that I'm like, wow, like I matched up with a symbol that I know, and I'm like, that's so interesting right now. It's like in the distance. So, long story short, yeah, he said Mickey Mouse's sole purpose was to bring laughter to I don't know how you put it. I wrote it down. His sole purpose was to bring laughter to basically the world or something like that. Like through, and I forgot how he said, but basically that was one aspect of it. One portion of what Mickey Mouse's purpose was to bring laughter to the world. And I'm like, actually, that's hilarious, because I so side with that. Like, I am like the Minnie to Mickey, you know what I'm saying? So, so the whole thing is, it's like, I love bringing laughter to the world, and I feel like I'm doing that to the world, but also to this whole, you know, aspect of self-mastery and not taking yourself too seriously, because I tend to do that. I'm a Capricorn, so I take myself way fucking seriously to kind of get the job done right, and get the job done to the highest and best standards of what I want to be as a human, because that's what came up to me yesterday. I came up in my world yesterday. It's not a human. You want to be a one, like human, right? So that's what I am. And when I actually got that license plate yesterday in front of me as I was going into Disney Hollywood Studios for the first time, actually maybe it's the second time, I realized that I was like, wow, I like actually started crying, because I was like, this is a winning moment for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, because I listened to my intuition, and if I didn't listen to my intuition, I would have never saw that aspect of, like, my, you know, of myself, and I would have never saw that aspect, like that license plate sign, right? Which is an aspect of me. It really is that, you know? So it's like, I won in all many different ways, and, you know, just wanting to touch upon something else where I just feel, you know, where I was taken advantage of in my happiness was recently, you know, a family member or their spouse, I can't remember who it was, well, I can't remember. I don't know who it was. I still don't know. And that's okay, because I decided I was gonna call them too. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna call them, because this is not my problem, actually. Like, it's not something that you have to see how many birds there are around me. There's a fucking woodpecker. There's like a vulture up above. There's blue jays all around. Like, this is amazing. It's so beautiful. It's such great sign. So thank you, A-Team. And so that's another thing. It's like, I think that, you know, so long story short, in my family, what had happened to me was somebody went rummaging through another person's personal property. And so we think, I don't know if that's the case or not, but the truth will come out. And, you know, and some money was taken, and I approached the situation in terms of how I thought it should be handled, and how I will not fucking, because also I have a feeling that this happened in the past too, and you know, just like it was something that everybody just like kind of swept under the rug, and I'm like, why the fuck? Because we were all taught the same thing, and if one's lacking in disrespect of another, especially within a family, and no one's talking about it, then I'll be the one to talk about it. I don't give a fuck. Like, you wanna yell at me, you wanna throw a whole bunch of bullshit because of that person that they don't know of, and stuff that I never thought I'd ever fucking experience in my life, or it would ever get to that fucking level. But I stood my ground, and I don't give a fuck. Like, I am a fucking honey badger, bro. People don't realize I am so happy that I am so willing to side with my own happiness that I'm a fucking honey badger when it comes down to it. Like, I will attack anybody who thinks that they're going to get away with something. It is the right thing for me to do. You know, like, I don't lose my mind over fucking people very, very often. But my whole thing is, that also taught me another cyclical thing where I was just like, oh, this person thought that our happiness, they didn't take advantage of our money or of our, you know, they think they took advantage of our money, but actually they, in their minds, probably thought that, oh, we wouldn't say anything because we're happy people, and we, you know, it's happy people look like they're weaker people sometimes, and like as if, oh, they're too happy, they'll never come down, they'll never like they'll never, what's it called, say anything about it. They'll never confront the situation, right? And a lot of us humans are very used to people doing that. Like, oh, we feel bad about certain things, and maybe, you know, happy people are also very caring people, I feel. So, you know, so I think it's a level of taking advantage of a whole lot more than just fucking happiness, but it's the fact that they think that, you know, whoever's stealing from you, they think that they are overpowering you, that, oh, she'll never fucking say anything, like they're in the right over you, when really they can be in the right over you. That's totally fine. You do what you want with your actions, with your thoughts, with your whatever. But in the right, and actually in the wrong you are, because I'm happy because I choose to fucking see everything in my life and work at it. And I'm not, and again, that's not me being a perfectionist, that's me being a proactive person. That's not me being a, oh, I'm going to, you know, stand here looking pretty and feeling all perfect. No, there's a lot of imperfection that I fucking had to go through in order to get this perfectly happy life. And it's like, and it's really funny because it's all in your attitude. So a person who has an attitude where they think that they are going to be in the right, or whatever the fuck it is, just for themselves, your attitude is so fucked up. While I spit, your attitude is so fucked up and so in the wrong and so unhappy that I actually don't feel bad for you, because you're fucking choosing to make all of this stuff happen for yourself, you know? And then these are the people that turn around and be like, oh, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. And like, blah, blah, blah. No, because you're fucking putting victim action to your motherfucking scenario in your life. And the whole thing is, it's like, you don't fucking feel like changing yourself at all for anybody, because you think everything's fucking fine with you. But guess what? You're not fine, because you're not happy. And that's the whole thing. And that should be a GPS fucking flare up, if anything. Like, a GPS should be like, yo, fucking, there's flares in your roadway. You know what I'm saying? To be like, to let you know that on your path, there's something fucking not right with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta change something about yourself, because, you know, no one's going to in this life say, hey, you need to change that about yourself. No, you need to do that for yourself, you know? And so, excuse me. So my whole thing is, I went on a rampage there because it's just so funny. And the funny thing is, I got like crazy fucking text message. I just brought it up and how I would bring it up, like just nonchalant, but here's the deal. I gave them a fucking paragraph, read it. Okay, fine. You know, I understand reactions. People, and again, you know, no one wants to get blamed for something that they may not have done, or to be, and especially to be looked at in that type of light, right? But the whole thing is, you know, you also, that person doesn't also know that they're dealing with a highly intuitive and spiritual person. And the whole thing is, it's like, if you think you're getting away with something by reacting to it in a, I don't know what the fuck it is you mean, because I saw literally a snippet of that text, and I was like, fucking whatever, and then like they like, so you can see that they just like started like, you know, going in on it, and I told them that we would talk about it the next day, but then I said, you know what? This isn't my problem. I just fucking went through so much bullshit because of this whole like family problem, which is fine because I can take on anything. However, they don't deserve a fucking, like, you know what? Time will tell. I was like, I don't deserve to put any more of my time and energy into somebody that doesn't actually give a shit about others who actually have naturally embraced them. And the whole thing is, it's like, you will come out very soon. I mean, it'll all come out. You know, things started to come out already, but, you know, at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm just waiting for it to actually be, you know, expressed via the person that actually took action upon doing that action, in terms of, you know, who took the money. And again, and everybody's so funny because everybody's like, oh my God, you're like, you know, like, because I did air something out on Facebook, but it was purely in my style, and I had no regrets. Like, so when you do something in this life, this is what I'm trying to say, have no regrets about it, because people will try to make you regret everything you fucking do. But guess what? I know that I've taken a time out with myself and patience with myself to actually think about, what is it that I want to say here? What is it that I want to express? What is it that I want them to understand? What is it that my heart needs to express to them? Did it all. And I fucking just put it out there. And you know what? They didn't like it. There was lashback, or I don't know how to fucking say that word. I think it's lashback. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of it. But like, you know, and I dealt with it just perfectly fine, but I decided that, you know, so again, I was going to stick to my ways to be like, oh, I'm going to give them a call, tomorrow. It's not my, it wasn't my action to begin with. I'm not going to give somebody my time who actually isn't at my level of understanding about how other human beings should be treated. And I full blown told them that they were going to get a YouTube video about it. I did. I fucking told them. So I was like, and I created a YouTube video beforehand to let people know, and I'm going to think about how I feel about that one. But I feel much better with this one actually going out, because I just feel like, you know, it kind of expresses the actualness of what I wanted to say. And it doesn't matter the people involved. It doesn't fucking matter. I bless you anyway. I bless you. I literally, when somebody does something to me, or that I don't agree with, or that like is against me, I constantly am in this mode of, you know, I bless you with healing, blessings, and prosperity. Those are my 3 things that I fucking bless people with. And I still did it to this person, and I constantly will. And I also will bless them with so much love from afar, because, you know, you have shown me who you are through your actions. And I honor all of that within myself to then expect that from others. And, you know, when people say, oh, I fucked up, you didn't fuck up. That's not a fuck up. That's not a mistake. That is a complete action that you were okay with taking, that you didn't even fucking think about anybody else in, and that's selfishness. And that I don't agree with whatsoever, because when you're doing something negative, you're affecting everybody else negatively around you, and you don't give a fuck about anybody when you're acting out of that space. And that's not the space that I choose to be in. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I didn't answer back to their text messages, because drama is not a lot of my life. I literally, whatever drama comes my way, I fucking handle it. And it's not even drama. I don't even think about drama. It's just a situation, right? Because I don't put any drama into it. I don't see the drama in it. And I'm not going to fucking handle it with drama. So fuck that. You know what I'm saying? So when